Hi there, and welcome to the so-called weekly development diary for Memories on it. This will encompass 4 weeks worth of updates, as I'm a little bit behind. As you can see, February was a heck of a month, very, very inconsistent in how much I wrote, and when I wrote it, I had to call on a few weekends here and here, and quite a few evenings to sort of catch up. But we got there. Mainly got there because I did a Captain Kirk and changed the rules. Those of you who've been paying attention will know that my original pledge was 80,000, now at 50,000. As I've written the story, it's continued on its path, but it's taken a bit longer to get to what was originally going to be the midpoint of the story, and it seems like that may actually be the end point now of this season. I think that'll work. There's a lot of action in this season, a lot of events that are triggered by the characters themselves rather than them just being around when things happen. It's kind of in season one, so I'm not too worried about it being too dull. But if I carried it on, then I perhaps wouldn't do the rest of the story justice. So season two will draw to a climax a bit sooner, but hopefully it'll be a breathless rush to get there. Therefore, as a result, I'm actually over target for February, despite it not being that good. Only by about the same amount I was over in January, so clawed my way back, but not been the best month. Primarily due to the day job and illness. Basically real life butting its way in. What I am pleased with is the characterization. As I've moved through it, it's a bit inconsistent to start with, but I've solved it. That's really come. It's got a lot better as we worked our way through, and there are actually now 4 point of view characters, not just Morgan and Thrain, so should see things from a slightly different perspective. That's all I'll say about the words then, as this is 4 weeks worth of updates. I thought I'd show you something slightly more interesting than just spreadsheets this month. And this is what I wanted to show you. This is Pinterest. It's social media, different to Facebook and Twitter, and it doesn't revolve primarily around conversations, but pictures. And unlike Instagram, which seems to be about pictures you take yourself, this seems to be about sharing cool things you find around the internet. When I first started it, I thought, well, that's cool, but it's just loads of cool pictures. And then I realised, that's cool, it's just loads of really cool pictures. What you can do is you can set up lots of boards. So you can see here, I've got different boards for different themes. One for books, one for just general cool pics, which I don't use, food, science fiction, fantasy, got to have a Star Wars one, comics, etc, etc. And you can see here some of those boards. Now what I've done is, as I've been scouring through cool pictures, I thought of things, well actually that looks like a scene from the book, that looks like a character from the book, that looks like a bit of tech, that looks like something that's giving me ideas. So basically, using it really well for inspiration. You can see here some ideas around the spaceport and the elevator perched above attendees' planet. You see the sled skipper at the beginning of Morga's journey that she takes on. This was something that I thought really captured that really well. Some ideas here around the suits that Clayton Co are wearing in some of the later scenes. Some other ideas. This one in particular was something around the heavy weapons that Barclay was wearing that clicks all dunks into place and grounds in when he's firing his weapons. More ideas about the spaceport. I was really struggling to the advanced assets that tackle Thrain at the beginning of Memory Stirred. The augmented arms that appear from a chassis. I was really struggling to picture, but this picture really helped me. What I also wanted to share was some stuff from Memories on it. So some sneaky scenes that might well go some way to showing you some things that may happen in that book. As you'll know, right at the end of the first book, Clayt and Morgan and Jones had access to Sadin's ship. In my head, that's what it looks like. Some other ideas for it here, but you can certainly see there's a trend there in its needle-thin nose. Some other ideas for other parts of later books, some other scenes, some other places that'll happen. There's some commentary on there. You can see there's a few bits around base jumping, which I won't lie, there is an element of that happens in the story. So anyway, there you go. There's some inspiration for some of the later scenes in the book. Thought you might find them interesting. I will put my Pinterest site in the show notes, but you can find it if you just search for Colin Moby on Pinterest. Anyway, I will endeavour to speak to you in a week. Take care. Bye.